Cam, how does it feel to say I'm not worthy?
I am not worthy. Yeah, there's nothing there. That's pretty cool.
Bow, bow. Well done. All right, let's run through not worth it and worthless, just see if those are neutral as well.
I am not worth it. I am worthless. Oh, that's a trip, dude.
Yeah, I know.
Like, there was like inner nagging about it beforehand, and like as you probably know, I am someone who believes in magic. I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm kind of tripping out. That's wild.
yeah.
Uh, wow, that's
Yeah,
cool.
you could totally really describe what we're doing here as magic if you want. And I view the term magic really as just like applied metaphysics. Yeah, there's a few like super basic housekeeping things I want to mention first. My desire is to share with you a very, very powerful and super simple set of tools that you can use to let go of limiting beliefs that no longer serve you. And I believe that you want to focus specifically on the sense of worthiness, right? We'll get to explore what that means, what that looks like. And then after this, I want to keep in touch with you and ask like, how things are in your experience without this unworthiness paradigm just clouding your awareness. And the other thing that's important is that I say this in every single one of my sessions the first time I work with someone. You're a sovereign being. It's never my right to tell you what to believe or not to believe. That's always your choice. So just because we find a belief doesn't mean you have to let it go. I'll actually always ask you, hey, Cameron, all right, we found this thing. Do you want to keep that or do you want to let it go? It's always up to you.
Yeah, I like that. Um, Yeah, very much resonates.
Awesome. Cool. Okay. Well, I would love to hear it in your own words, man. Like what made you want to reach out and share this experience?
There's been a number of things. I think I mentioned we sold our Arizona house and we
Mhm.
had a pretty decent chunk of money and I paid off all my dues. So like I don't owe anybody and I had visualized this happening for quite some time. I was like, oh, this is gonna feel so good. It feels so liberating. And then when it came to spending some of that money on myself or on things, I noticed, well, some of that stuff didn't just melt away. It's like I could hear my mom's voice in my head. It's different blocks coming up. And it's funny that you mentioned I'm sovereign and I can choose if I want to hold on to a belief because I've had some big epiphanies just lately, just the last few days about the rules I set for myself, the settings I put in my own video game. I'm constantly seeking the lesson and everything. And I'm like, God, where have I set up these awful rules in my own life that are keeping me from winning? Some of it's like the grind in my business. And I've noticed that the more I grind, it doesn't really affect getting new clients or better clients. I'm grinding more. That's been the only difference is there's like some kind of obstruction and other rules in place that are like keeping me from just accepting. I just noticed lately, man, like I've set up some shitty rules to put it bluntly. I bought into like the name change with a K and like whoever had done that report on my name, I had perpetuated that until a belief, like all the stuff attached to the names. So the other night I was like, now I'm so done with these extra rules that are just becoming distractions. Even the paperwork it would take to go legally change my name to a K and drop my middle name and then the negative ripple that some of that would have like on my parents, like wondering, well, what was wrong with the name we gave him and blah blah. It goes into a bunch of stuff, but basically I was like, it's my frequency. It's not my name. My name cannot matter that much. I was setting these rules myself. There's probably a few of them, man. I simply went and changed my name back to a C in all these different places. I'm just like, I don't need the K for whatever reason it was, and I don't
Yeah.
I don't need to be extra different. I'm already pretty different. Anyways, without going too crazy, I, I set up a lot of rules that have kept me from winning, and I want to win. I want to enjoy my life. Not too long ago, I kind of broke free of this scarcity loop that I found myself in where I was like, oh, I got to go work, get more clients and work. and I'm missing out on the rest of my life, like hanging out with my kids or doing rock work for a lady down the street or building something on the land that I'm on because it felt like what I want to do. Like, because sometimes I want to do other things than sit at my computer and prospect or build
Yeah.
funnels or whatever it is. Like,
Right. Yeah.
so it's only been like maybe a few weeks or months since I had that aha that I was caught in a scarcity loop and got myself out of it. To be perfectly frank to you, I think there was some resistance in working with you before, like some weird pride I may have maybe had, or some, I don't even know how to pinpoint it, but I've let go of a lot of things and I see you helping others and I see you, living your life without those restrictions I want to get rid of. And I'm like,
Sure.
well, yeah, I saw your post and I was like, fuck yeah, I'm just going to do this. I'm feeling much better listening to my own intuition and following what feels good. And it felt
That's
good
where it's at.
to jump on an opportunity with you. So,
Oh, heaven, yes. Thank you, man. I love the story. And there's so much gold to extract from that. I'm always listening for specific keywords that we speak because we have a just natural tendency to speak through the lens of our belief system. I'm curious to hear your perspective on what some of these rules might be, but going back to your initial request, the concept of worthiness tying to self-worth is something I want to explore for sure, because that's what you initially had mentioned. There's also the sense of grinding, and I need to be grinding more in my business as a rule set of this is how I make money, this is how I be successful, something to that effect.
mhm.
Um, there's a need to be different, something in that vein, some kind of attachment to being different. Those are a few of the things that stood out to me. Um, so I just want to check, are you open to exploring the self-worth and worthiness piece first?
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. All right. So this can be really, this is actually a fun, there's three things to take you through. It all circles back to this tool called the sense test. And the sense test is really ridiculously useful and simple. How do you know exactly what your limiting belief is? It turns out that if you just speak the words of a belief out loud, it'll either invoke emotion and sensation inside of your body. It'll actually make emotional sense beyond just logical sense. And your mind might go, fuck that, I know that's not true. That's definitely not true. And I'm angry about it. And I'm sad about it that that's so not true. And it's like, okay, I'm sorry to say, but if there's an emotional response, you actually do believe it. The simplest way I like to think of a belief is it's not a statement about reality that we think is true. That's like a 19th and 20th century definition. You can think of a belief as just a thought that you've tied with an emotion in your body.
Hmm.
That's a really simple way. It's a thought plus an emotion.
Yeah,
So if it's a thought with no emotion, probably don't like believe it.
right.
Like white computer mice are cool. I don't have my faith, my life force energy, my emotion invested into white computer mouse are cool. But I might have some life force energy invested into I'm a worthless piece of shit. I deserve to die and I'm not good enough. Those are some of my stories. So
Yeah.
I feel curious. Does anything happen for you, Cameron, if you say, I am a 651 page glip?
Um, I am a 651 page booklet. No, nothing.
This slight laughter, right?
Like,
It's kind of funny.
yeah, silly thought.
What happens if you say, I'm the who's who of Blue's Clues?
I'm the who's who of Blue's Clues. Again, it's kind of fun to say. It's kind of a, you know,
Yeah. And here's one that's really just meant to be neutral. I am a box of crayons.
I am a box of crayons.
There's just no response.
Just nothing.
So that's what nonsense feels like. Nonsense just means it doesn't invoke logical sense, no sense of agreement, no sense of truth. It doesn't evoke emotional sense, sensations and emotions in the body. It's nonsense. So that's what nonsense feels like. What happens, Cameron, if you say, I am not worthy?
I am not worthy. Um, Definitely brings up some feelings, and you know, it's almost like my brain like agrees with it.
Okay. And thank you for that. Where do you notice those feelings arising in your body? Is it your chest? Is it your stomach, your head?
It's like my chest and throat, and then I mean, the thought fires off in my head, and I'm almost angry that I believe that, or that I've had that. Yeah, it kind of pisses me off a little bit that it was ever um, there.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's the charge of the belief itself, and then there's also your judgment that this shouldn't be there, and that adds more anger to it.
Hmm.
Yeah. Makes sense. Okay. And how intense on a scale of 1 to 10 is that whole experience for you? Maybe like a 6 or a 7?
It probably is like a 6 or 7. There was some like electricity attached to it in my chest, like you know, fairly aware of it, and it felt kind of like one of those things you slam on with a sledgehammer at the fair.
Yeah. Yeah.
Went up to my brain thought and back down into my chest, and there was, yeah, a bit of electricity there.
Yeah. Yeah, good self-awareness. So the fact that you're aware of these somatic sensations, you can label them, it's going to make it a lot easier to do this kind of work. So that's a green flag in my book. Okay, so let's shift the language ever so slightly. Now, instead of I am not worthy, try saying I am not worth it.
I am not worth it. Less. I mean, there's still a little. It's almost like static shocks instead of electrocution. It's just like less.
Yeah,
I guess my
same.
brain starts to search for what is it. Like what is it?
It's a great, if only everyone's did. So the idea here is that we linguistically encode beliefs in a way to make sense of our experience in the simplest possible terms. And so a lot of our beliefs actually contain words like this and it and that and they and he and she. And all these words just apply to whatever is in the focus of our attention. So I don't deserve it can be a belief that shows up in our relationships when someone is giving us love. Thanks for your compliment. I don't deserve it. It can show up when we're closing an investment deal and uh, I feel resistant to like actually signing the contract and just leaving it open in my inbox for 5 days because I don't deserve it. So many different ways in which it can show up. So that's why I like to check for that. And here's another extremely common one. What happens if you say, I am worthless?
I am worthless. It's similar to I am not worthy.
Yeah. Similar level of intensity.
Maybe not as intense, but it almost feels like I'm used to it, like that thought or that belief.
Used to it. Almost like a sense of acceptance. Kind of like, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
okay. All right. Well, I'll ask you the question. Are these beliefs that you want to keep or let go of?
Definitely want to let go of them, man.
Totally. I'm with you. Okay. So now let's get into the actual method itself. The first question I have for you is if you really take a moment and just search non-judgmentally, just curiously within yourself and ask yourself, is there any part of me that's not ready to let these go for any reason? What happens?
Yeah, it's like feels a little bit like letting go of a version of me, and it's just a little bit scary to what am I without this kind of thing.
Yeah. I call this the sense of identity. So if I let go of this belief, I'm letting go of my identity. I'm letting go of who and what I am. And what's on the other side of that? That's kind of scary. Does that track for you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So can we just welcome this part of you that has that concern that if I let go of this belief of not worthy, that I might lose my identity? Can you just welcome that part of you with just non-judgmental curiosity? And can we ask it some questions and see if we can help? So first, we just want to thank this part. Like it is important that Cameron have some sense of identity. And so I just want you to know there's actually nothing wrong with using beliefs to create a sense of identity. I feel curious, does this part of you actually enjoy the experience and the results that identifying as not worthy and worthless actually bring?
No, that's a pretty easy one to answer. Just like I am tired of it. Like it's worn out. It doesn't bring me. Um, no, I can think of a list of things that it does. It's like it brings up projection towards my family and my kids, and um, it's causing insecurities in my oldest son, I'm sure, because of those projections. And I don't want to become that shitty voice in his head.
Wow. Thank you. So just bringing attention and awareness back to this part. When this part of you first created this belief, it certainly wasn't thinking to itself. You were probably really young, and it certainly wasn't thinking to itself, I know what I'm going to do today. I'm going to create a lifelong projector screen that causes me to mess with my kids and that wasn't its original intention. It probably wanted to keep you safe. It probably wanted to make sure that you were going to stay loved. It clearly wanted you to have some kind of sense of identity. And I wonder if this part of you can actually see as a possibility that you're no longer in the environment that you used to be in where that belief was necessary. Can this part of you see that you've actually grown and evolved and created a lot of safety and grown yourself into a very different man over the course of the last decades?
Mm-hmm.
And if that's the case, can this part see as a possibility now that this whole belief of I'm not worthy, I'm not worth it, I'm worthless. Can it see that these beliefs basically just cause, for lack of a better word, a fuckload of suffering? And it's not intentional. We're not blaming, we're not making it bad or wrong, but can it see that there's a lot of suffering that's tied to these beliefs now?
Yeah.
And could it be possible that if you were to let it go, that may just maybe underneath those stories, you would get to discover with a much more open heart who you truly are underneath those stories.
Mm-hmm.
So a new, deeper sense of true identity could be discovered.
Yeah.
And with all of that in mind, could it be okay to let go of those old beliefs of being worthless, unworthy, so on?
Yeah.
Cool. Send some sincere gratitude, appreciation to that part of you. It's just trying to protect you, keep you safe in some way. And whenever you're ready, Cameron, just ask yourself again, is there any part of me that wants to hold on to that belief that I'm not worthy?
No.
Great. All right. Well, then, we'll move to the next part of the process, which is really simple. I call this the Santa effect. The idea is, did you ever believe in Santa when you were a kid?
Yeah.
Totally, me too. So there was a point where someone told you there's this thing called Santa, and you go, that's cool, I believe you. Why not? You're an adult. You basically our God. Tell me the truth. And he's just everywhere you looked, you saw Santa. You saw Santa on the movies. You saw Santa at the mall and everything. And you just had so many images in your mind of what Santa was, and you truly believed for years and years and years of your life. And it didn't take effort to believe it. It was just a belief that was there. And then one day, someone told you the truth. Hey, man, every time you thought you were seeing Santa, you were actually seeing a fat dude in a costume. That's what you actually saw. You go, wait, are you serious? Wait, let me look back through my past. Did I ever see Santa? Those were just fat dudes in costumes? Shit. And then flip a switch. You no longer believe in Santa. And you didn't have to go to therapy for 20 years to there's no stop believing in Santa therapy. You just flipped a switch and you stop believing in Santa. And the real magic trick of that is to realize and acknowledge that the experience that you had, the images that you have in your mind from your past don't actually mean Santa is real. You reinterpret them, you see the truth, clear perception of reality itself, and you see, oh, that wasn't Santa. That was some guy named Doug Milmar who took a job at a mall.
Yeah.
Right? And so, in a very similar way, if you look around in this experience that you're having right now, do you actually see I am not worthy anywhere around you?
No, I would say it's probably the opposite of that.
Are you sure? Look at the ceiling. You didn't check the ceiling, did you?
Yeah, it's actually like, I mean, um, I feel so blessed at times that that has actually triggered that thought, that or that belief that I'm like, do I deserve all this kind of thing?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
Worthy and deserving go hand in hand. We can look at that too. But at least as far as you can tell in this present moment, it doesn't look like you're unworthy, does it?
no. Mm-mm.
Okay. Well, that's good news. Now I'll ask you, have you ever, Cameron, at any point in your entire life, even once, actually seen I am unworthy? Take a look through your past. I'm willing to bet you saw people behaving. I'll bet $10,000 at different points in your life you saw people behaving. But when you look at those images of people behaving and looks in people's eyes and all the things, do you actually see anywhere printed in the fabric of space-time? There it is. I'm unworthy.
No.
Are you sure?
Like you said, I think it's just there are people behaving. I've been treated a certain way by a lot of people in my life. Um, been hated on, if you want to put it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm with
it,
you. Bullied, yelled at by my dad, all these things.
yeah. I mean, it's not that it was printed on anything that I was unworthy. Just, I feel like there were plenty of projections happening, other people's feelings. I think my mom the most probably, maybe
Oh, yeah.
different person, anyways. Um, yeah, a lot of projecting of her opinions about money and how it should be handled and whether or not we should ever vacation or go somewhere or travel or do something nice for ourselves or eat somewhere nice or anything,
Mm.
basically anything like that.
Yeah. Right.
I don't think that I was unworthy those things. I think she's just got her own set of beliefs that she was very bold about or outspoken.
That sounds about right. It sounds like she had a belief system, and it sounds like she expressed her opinion. Yeah. And just because mom had a belief system and expressed it, does that mean you're unworthy?
No.
Thank God. Okay. So now I'll ask you, okay, so it seems like you've never seen I am not worthy. Have you ever in your entire life ever seen, even one time ever, I am not worth it?
Only in people's actions. Yeah, only in other people's actions. Other people treating me like I'm not worth it.
Now, this is where the illusion comes in. So, what's one such action that someone did once upon a time?
Um, I got a Dear John letter once in the mail while I was in jail.
Hmm.
Um, I've had a couple of friends. One of them I felt pretty close to, and then out of nowhere, he lashed out and said awful things to me, and then stopped being my friend. He even reached out a year later to tell me he hated me. So it was, I
Hmm.
guess, his actions were like, "You're not worth it." Like, but I guess actually, when I say it, it sounds like I must have been worth something for him to come back out of nowhere for a year later. And
Yeah, that's one interpretation. I can see that. So let's take the Dear John letter first. Just go ahead and look at it in your mind's eye. And I'm curious, John, if excuse me, Cameron, if you look closely at that letter, do you see a piece of paper with words on it?
mm-hmm.
Do you see I am not worth it? Or do you see a piece of paper with words on it?
I don't even remember the words on it. Yeah, it was a piece of paper with words on it.
Okay, cool. And with your friend who was, blowing up, do you see that guy uh, doing and saying stuff? Or do you see I am not worth it?
I see him doing and saying stuff or lashing out.
Yeah, we could define it as lashing out. Sure. Now, anywhere in that experience of lashing out, did God come down from the heavens and stamp "not worth it" onto your forehead like a Zeus bolt?
No.
Oh, sweet. That's good news. Yeah. So ultimately, can you see that that was an interpretation?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And who's the one who interpreted it that way originally?
Um, it would have been me. Yeah.
Yeah. That's how powerful you are. You can interpret any experience to mean anything. Got one of these, you ever seen these like cool Aragonite pyramids?
Yeah.
This one, this one has the tree of life on it and a little like cat's eye thing. I could look at this and I could say, this means uh, that Pluto will become daisies and a giant ball of daisies. That's what this means. Da da da. It's all. This doesn't mean that. It's just the thing, and it's true of every experience. There's no such thing as meaning that exists intrinsic to an experience. We create all of the meaning that happens in our experience of reality. And then we tend to project that meaning outwardly based on what we believe. So, have you ever had an experience that actually meant I'm not worth it?
No.
That's good news. Okay. Okay. What about I am worthless? You ever had an experience that actually meant I'm worthless?
No.
Did you ever see I am worthless dangling in three-dimensional space?
No.
Okay, sweet. That's all very good news. So now we get to the next layer of the illusion. This one tends to be trickier for people, but the first time that you see through it, you'll never be able to not see through it moving forward. Have you ever felt not worthy?
Um, yeah.
Totally. Totally. I get you. So for this part of the process, welcome that feeling into your awareness and really allow yourself to just connect with it. You can say, I welcome in the feeling of being unworthy and just allow yourself to feel it. And you're with it. Similar sensation in like the chest, throat type region. Now, here's a sincere question. If some little child that you loved, doesn't have to be your kid, it could be in another dimension, cares. Some little kid that you loved walked up to you one day and was like, "Hey, Cameron, yeah, I feel this like weird, I don't know what to call it, like electricity, like this sensation in my chest and in my throat. What does it mean? I'm kind of confused. I don't, what does it mean? Would you just like kneel down and be like, oh, I'm sorry, dude. It means you're unworthy and completely worthless forever.
No, of course not.
Oh, shit. Ah, okay, you wouldn't do that to someone else. Yeah, because in truth, if someone feels sadness behind their right eyeball, does it mean they're unworthy?
No,
If someone feels anger in their left ball, does it mean they're unworthy?
no. It's just a feeling.
It's just a feeling.
Yeah.
So focus on that sensation that you have defined as unworthy and bring your awareness to it and let me know when you're with it. And now just ask yourself, does this feeling mean I'm unworthy?
Does this feeling mean I'm unworthy? No.
Oh, are you sure?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great news. Okay. Does it mean I am worthless?
No.
Oh, are you sure?
Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. Does it mean I'm not worth it?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Well, this is good news indeed. Okay, take a big old deep breath. Hmm. And now I'll ask you, we kind of know the answer to this question, but at any point in your life, John, I keep calling you John for some reason, Cameron, the Dear John letter, have you ever identified with that belief that I am not worthy?
Um, yeah.
Would you like to disidentify with it now?
Yeah. That'd be great.
Excellent. Now that there's no longer any like emotion binding it into your body, disidentifying with it is really simple. It's just a choice. And if you want, you can say these words out loud. I now choose to disidentify with the belief that I am not worthy.
I now choose to disidentify with the belief that I am not worthy.
And while we're here, I now choose to disidentify with the belief that I am worthless.
I now choose to disidentify with the belief that I am not worth it. Can't remember which one you said, but either way.
That's perfect. You're going in order, so that works just as well. And then one more time with worthless.
I now choose to disidentify with the belief that I am worthless.
Excellent. So now notice, how does it feel to say, I'm worth 8 popsicles?
I'm worth 8 popsicles.
How does it feel to say, I'm not worth 10 chicken sticks?
I'm not worth 10 chicken sticks.
Silly. Yeah. Hopefully nonsense, right?
Yeah.
Okay, great. I just noticed from a place of just pure neutral curiosity, Cam, how does it feel to say, I'm not worthy?
I am not worthy. Yeah, there was nothing there. That's pretty cool.
Well done. Yeah. All right, let's run through not worth it and worthless, just see if those are neutral as well.
I am not worth it. I am worthless. Oh, that's a trip, dude.
Yeah, I know.
Like, that's like, there was like inner nagging about it beforehand, and like, like as you probably know, I am someone who believes in magic. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm kind of tripping out. That's wild.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, wow,
Yeah,
that's cool.
you could totally really describe what we're doing here as magic if you want. And I view the term magic really as just like applied metaphysics.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I do believe in magic. Like, in
Yeah.
in the same way you're saying it's applied. I mean, I've fucked with binary coding and, those one codes that I used to do in the air. And I still think that I might do some more because they're fun and
Yeah.
I will experience things with them.
Sure.
Uh, that's nuts, though. That's wild. I literally felt nothing when I said those terms. It was like nothing.
All right. Now try your hardest to feel unworthy.
Dude, it's tripping me out a little bit.
This is kind of like my reaction the first
Logical
time.
brain is like trying to figure out what happened here. I'm like, dude, I don't know. Whatever. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. So along with worthy, on the flip side of that is deserving.
yeah.
And there's huge, huge paradigms that can be applied. I'm trying to remember what were your exact words. You didn't say I don't deserve it. I think you said not deserving. So let's
Yeah.
let's try those two. What happens if you say I'm not deserving?
I'm not deserving. I don't deserve it. I don't really feel anything. I don't know if it's just like hand in hand with what we just did, but I like don't really
It
feel
tends to be.
it's
Yeah.
it's, it's wow. Those are like two words I've worked on eliminating, like swear words from my life, you know.
Wow.
And now they honestly just feel like words. Like it is so trippy. I have like been attached to that shit for like as long as I can remember.
I know what
Like
you mean.
so weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whatever voodoo this is, like fun doing it, and that's trippy.
Yeah. 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 Now you see why I'm excited to share this with people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do. That's so cool. Like I don't know what happened, but it makes sense. Like when you explain the Santa thing, like that part makes sense. And then there was like some nagging, disbelief inside my head, like, no, like maybe it was the struggle to let go of but like
Yeah.
it was like some weird magic trick. It's nonsense now. Like there's like the way you defined it, I don't feel anything in my chest, or I don't feel, and I'm pretty damn self-aware of like what's going
And
on.
and energetically sensitive and aware. Yes,
Yeah,
totally.
yeah.
Which is why I'm saying, like, yeah, when you learn this, it's gonna click. Yes.
Wild. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I'm like curious too, like what can happen without those like identities and beliefs.
So here's a fun question for you. I offer this always as an integration question from these sessions. So the question is, what infinite possibilities exist now that I am free?
What infinite possibilities exist now that I am free? It like there's a flood of them, of course, and I'm really curious and excited to be surprised, I guess, because like I've had thoughts all throughout my life of stuff that would immediately be met with you don't deserve that, or like
All right. Yeah.
worthy of that, like being on stage and being offered big money for high ticket speaking, or clients coming to me out of nowhere without all the grind that we talked about.
Yep.
And dude, it's a trip. Like I've literally said, I don't know how many times, I just want to live my life. I just want to live my life. And I think you understand what I mean by that. Like I want to live my life without this golem or whatever that
Yeah. Yeah.
uh, such
Totally.
I like was I definitely came into this open, and I'm just like being fully transparent that there was like an inner nag, a nagger.
Great. Yeah.
But how is this going to work? You've done everything.
Yeah, I know.
You know?
I know.
And then I'm like, all right, trippy. No, I still don't know how, like, I couldn't go and reproduce this with my wife. I mean, as much as I would like to explain to her what happened, I think it would be more or less like, um, the only thing I can explain is we went into the definition of nonsense and, being attached to something as an identity or belief, and then shit, moving it, I guess. It's almost, it's almost like too easy. It's wild, but it's not. I feel like that's how it should be. It's been, yeah, that's so trippy, dude. I'm still like wondering my brain can't help it. It's like,
Yeah. Oh, I totally get you. Yeah.
what is that?
The underlying mechanism, if I were to describe it in words, is that you create your entire experience of reality. You
Right.
create all of your beliefs, you create everything that you identify with, and not worthy is just a concept.
Hmm.
It's not actually who and what you are. You're the infinite eternal awareness that is aware of all of these thoughts and emotions and sensations, etc. You're not actually any of the thoughts that come into your head. So, because you create all of these beliefs in the first place, you have creative dominion over all of your creations. You can uncreate what you've previously created. That's just part of the metaphysical order of your experience. So,
Mm.
one of the ways through which you create your beliefs is the mechanism of meaning. When you have an experience and you create meaning about it, and you say, well, I saw my dad and my mom behave like this to me, it means I'm unworthy.
Right.
The universe goes, okay, great. Yeah, here you go. Here, put on glasses. Not worthy. There you go. That's how you perceive everything from now on by your choice.
Mm.
That's what you did.
Yeah.
And so 10, 20, 30 years pass, you're still perceiving through the not worthy glasses. The thought comes up all the time. The feeling that you tied to that thought comes up in your body all the time until you decide to go, you know what? Yeah, I'm done playing that game. I never saw that I'm not worthy, but I felt not worthy, except for, no, I didn't. I felt emotions and I felt sensations.
Right.
That's all I ever felt. No one in all of human history has ever felt not worthy. That's not a thing that can happen.
Right.
It's an illusion.
Hmm.
And so when you decide, okay, these feelings don't actually mean that I'm not worthy, there they go.
It's so wild. That's cool.
Yeah. Breath of fresh air, man.
Yeah. Thank you. Huh.
Tell your friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Um. God, that was yeah. Hmm. I was like wondering even beforehand, like I'd like to have, the first 2 weeks of wild experiences to come back and be like, hey, this happened, or hey, I was able to do this easier, more freely. Like, how much content I don't post and I can't tell you why. How many videos I don't shoot and publish or that I do shoot and I don't publish,
Yeah.
like worried
Yeah.
about what other people will think, or it might have simply been those feelings of like unworthiness or not deserving, or those perceptions, those illusions.
Yeah.
It's so trippy.
Yeah.
Huh.
So these are two giant pillars that tend to go in tandem, right? Not worthy, not deserving. And
Yeah.
you're free from that now. So I really want to encourage you to just ponder that question, what infinite possibilities exist for me now that I am free? And play, play in the next coming days and weeks with your experience of reality. And what you'll inevitably find is that your capacity has just expanded in multiple facets. It'll expand in your relationships, it'll expand in your business, it'll expand. And as you expand, you will inevitably come into whatever the next layer is. And
Yeah.
just be open and curious about what that next layer is. And just witness it with non-judgmental awareness. And know that anytime that you choose, that too can be liberated and freed back into oneness, back into love.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm. I don't know what else to say about it. It's cool. It's trippy. It's like that. It's my kind of thing. That's for sure. I love it. I'm gonna have
Yeah.
to tell my big bro John about this. It's funny that you
Yeah.
call him John because my big bro's name is John.
I love it. Yeah. I'll share with you too. I just made the announcement here today that I've had a paid private school community for $97 a month for a little while now that teaches the sovereign mind method, and people make their introductions, and I got like classes and stuff. I just made the decision today to actually open this whole thing up for free and just give it to anyone who wants to learn how to do this stuff. So if you really want to study the method, we've got step-by-step overview and live demonstrations and stuff here with online courses. And I also do group experiences every single week for people. So I would love to invite you into our community as well, Sovereign Mind.
Yeah, that's very generous of you. Thank you.
Yeah, it's my pleasure and joy to be able to share stuff in the world, man.
Yeah, it feels good to help other people.
Hmm.
Um,
Anything else in your awareness? Anything else that you're curious about before we wrap up?
yeah, I'm just really curious what the infinite possibilities exist now that I'm free. Like what's gonna play out. There's that then the nag always comes in like how long can it last or blah blah blah. Like was it really
Yeah.
you know? But yeah, I've been pretty good about consciously letting go of those nagging thoughts and things anyways. So I'm just excited. We'll see. I I want to play more anyways. I'm gonna go on electric bikes with my kids and cruise down the street.
Look, that's great. Cool, man. Well, we'll be in touch in the coming days and weeks, and yeah, man, I look forward to seeing what just love and magic evolves for you.
Okay. How do I get into to those classes? On your they're on your
I believe I have your email. I'll make sure that you get an invitation, and you'll receive that invitation via email, and I'll probably shoot you a message on Facebook too.
okay. Well, have fun at your retreat.
Thank you, man. Much love, brother.
Thanks. Back at you.
All right.